It wasn't that long ago that people were really afraid to go into the mountains. You go back to the 1600s, people were looking for pastoral places to be, in Europe I mean, where going up to the mountains, only bad people went up to the mountains, only bandits went up to the mountains. And the mountains, very much like the edge of the world where the ships would fall off, they were thought of as a place that you don't want to go. Nobody should go up to those mountains because there's something wrong up there. And then the explorers in the Enlightenment age, in the 1800s, they started to discover glaciers, and they just started to discover these cold places that started to slowly seeped into the consciousness of Western man in such a way that we started to desire these wild places. And this was the age of exploration and the beginning of natural science, the beginning of science, period. Science in many ways has been co-opted and corporatized and sanitized in such a way that it's no longer coming from the heart. The beginning of science was coming from the heart of people that wanted to know about the unknown. Science has been bastardized in such a way that it's just thought of as a body of knowledge, when really it's about discovery of the unknown in such a way that it will tell us what's true and what's not true. And I'm not talking about medical science, I'm talking about natural science. And it seems like we've discovered everything, but this is not true. There's a science, an internal science, and a science of the imagination. And the science of the imagination, we are just starting to scrape the surface of it. Because very much like people used to be afraid of the mountains, we're afraid of our imagination. We are afraid to think for ourselves. We tend to think that thoughts that are new, and thoughts that don't make any money, and thoughts that are just, grand thoughts, well, that's silly. Why would anybody want to just have grand thoughts? My feeling is that grand thoughts are what life is all about, because thoughts are universal. Real thoughts are universal. Those thoughts that you just hash over and over, your mental mechanization, now those are not real thoughts. But real thoughts come from the cosmos. They come from the sun. They come from the earth itself. These thoughts are highly, highly, highly important if we hope to feel fulfilled in our life. Imagination is more than fanciful ideas. Everything is imagined. Everything is an image. We get information through the five senses, and it conveys it to our brain, right? To our mind, which is locked inside of the skull and doesn't have a clue what the heck's going on. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. Our mind has no clue what's going on. We have a variety of ideas and experiences that we use as a baseline to say that, oh, that's what that means. Oh, this is what that means, this default mode of experience. And we tend to take all of the information that comes to us and feed it through this default mode in such a way that life is dull. If we can cut that default mode off just a bit and allow information to just flow in naturally in its raw state, that, my friends, is what imagination is. It's images that aren't imaged yet. It is raw energy. It comes from the breath. We actually breathe ideas in. They don't come from our brain. Ideas don't come from the brain. If ideas came from the brain, then guess who would be running everything? It's those smart guys that are crunching all the numbers. Do you think they have real ideas? No, it's the artists. It's the young people. It's the very young that have ideas that are not formed yet. This is what imagination is. Ideas that are not formed yet. And it's important for all of us. And there's a science to this. The age of discovery is just beginning. The age of discovery in the 18th century, when they looked all around and found everything in the natural world, we tend to think that, oh, well, everything has been done. Then you have like thrill seekers and there's a certain amount of thrill seeking. You're like, oh, the first guy that climbed Everest, the first guy that jumped off Everest with wings, or, you know, all these ideas, all these things that seems like just the special few get to indulge in. But the science of imagination is for all of us. All of us can image something new, and we do it through the breath. You breathe deeply, and inside of that breath is a lot of information. That's what chi is, that's what energy is, it's actually information. You just need to sit with that breath long enough to allow that information to unlock itself, reveal itself to you, and then what do you know? There's something new. There's an idea I never thought of before. Wow, I never really looked at life like that. This is what imagination is and why it's so important, to give you a new perspective. It's like going to the top of the mountain. Words like panorama did not exist until people started climbing to the top of the mountain. They got to the top of the mountain and, oh, there's a panorama, a new vision, a new way of looking at life. This is what imagination is for, and the science of imagination is for you as well. To go inside. It's not outside, it's deep inside. The further you condense your awareness into your spine, where life originates, our life originates inside of the spine and it projects out into the five senses. We can go back to the beginning. This is what Solar Qigong is all about. Condensing breathing. Sucking our awareness into the spine, into the bone marrow, into our center. And from that center, that's where everything begins. That's where the realm of imagination is. We need only go there. We go and we sit inside of there before life starts to manifest itself in the five senses. New ideas are there. New feelings, emotions that are big feelings, not little feelings, not little human feelings, big feelings like the sun, like how the sun shines, like how the stars are a canopy above us, like how the earth is stable, like how water is the source of life. We can experience those things. As we experience them, then those new imagined experiences become a part of us. Then we can change and we can evolve. We can bring this new imagination to the rest of the people. This is what we're here for. We're here to evolve. We're here to discover something new. I ask, why would you not want to do this? Why would you not want to breathe deep inside of yourself to where you really begin? Why would you want to live your whole life on the surface? Learn condensing breathing. Go to solarqigong.com, learn how to condense your awareness deep inside and discover the science of imagination for yourself.